Good evening all out there and welcome. I'm Danny. I'm a Talent Acquisition Manager for the Specialist Talent Acquisition and Recruitment team who undertake the recruiting on behalf of DWP Digital. With me is my colleague Tia Nicholas.
Hi.
Works with the same team as me, and also Corinne Richardson, who is the Head of Role for Data Engineering for DWP Digital. Hi Corinne.
Hiya.
Many thanks for watching this interactive webinar today. It's going to last approximately 30 minutes and we're going to be giving you an overview of who we are at DWP Digital, what we do, and importantly, what our values and ambitions are, to hopefully let you see that this is a workplace you would want to be a part of, working with others who care very passionately about public service. And they then would also want to make a difference to deliver to our customers. We'll let you know about our recruitment process, as well as the job opportunities that we have here. But we also would like to hear directly from you. So as we go along, and to give you answers in real time, please post questions either on LinkedIn, YouTube or Twitter, remembering to include your name, and we will then try and answer those questions towards the end of the webinar. If we don't get to them during the allotted time, we will endeavour to collect those questions and then answer you back directly over the forthcoming days. To give you some background about DWP Digital, it's a community of digital professionals within the Department for Work and Pensions, and that is the UK's largest government department. We are currently delivering a once-in-a-generation digital transformation of DWP's products and services. These services are used by millions of people every day, including some of the most vulnerable in our society. The goal is to make these services easy to access and more efficient to deliver. We want to deliver a world-class service, and to do that we need to bring in the best digital talent in the UK. Our specialist in-house recruitment team is responsible for finding and bringing in those people. We work closely with our managers and digital experts to understand who and what we are looking for. We search the marketplace and we build relationships with candidates who have the skills that we are looking for and who share our values. And we tell people who might not know already about DWP what we're doing and why it's a great place to be a digital specialist. We're still evolving and improving, but we aim to give the best possible candidate experience to you. We recruit under the principles of fair, and open competition, and we just want to get the best possible person for each role. Now over to my colleague Tia.
Hi everyone, and welcome to our first webinar for data recruitment. It's one of the biggest digital transformations in Europe, and I'm thrilled to have Corinne Richardson, Head of Data Engineering, here with us today, and hopefully answer some of your questions and find out a little bit more about what we're doing with data. So first of all, Corinne, welcome.
Thank you.
Can you give us an overview of your practice first of all?
Okay, yeah, so I work within the data practice. So the data practice is a community of about 170 data professionals. It covers roles such as digital performance analysts, data scientists, data engineers and data managers. So the community come together to do L&D activities, share skills across the professions, but also the community does career progression for people, L&D and all that type of activity. So it's an eclectic mix of people with those sort of data skills, and they're embedded in different teams across DWP.
Thanks, Corinne.
Okay.
And what are the main responsibilities of the different roles, data roles within your practice?
Okay, so we've got data scientists, as I just mentioned. So they use data science technologies and techniques like machine learning, and they're embedded in feature teams, and they use the data to drive evidence-based decision making and policy design. So they also deliver technical applications using the data as well, which improves the customers' lives. So they really use that innovative and creative sort of streak of data scientists to actually do product design as well. So digital performance analysts, so they use Google Analytics rather, to look at the service design for digital. So within the platform teams, look at the amount of hits on websites and how they can improve that digital service going forward. So they look at performance reporting along the hits and how many people interact with that service and dropout points, that sort of thing. So data managers, there's a couple of different flavours of data managers. We have data operations managers. So they are basically large-scale production environment. So we have 200 terabytes of data. So they ingest data on a daily basis. If there's any incidents, they do incident management and support around that type of thing. So they also look at the security of the data. So we have operational security as part of data management as well. So they look at data security, governance, security and controls and data access, and also data risk assessment. So obviously key stuff, obviously with GDPR being a key thing, they make sure that that security aspect is around there for a really secure data asset. So obviously personal information is available on all that data. So data engineers, so we've got quite a few flavours of data engineers. So we've got data modelers who model the data. So we use Kimball methodology to do dimensional modelling with our data. So enrich it so it's actually a usable asset. So we have ETL developers who predominantly use Informatica, who do data pipelines and do the workflow management for data. We have BI developers who do MI reporting and also do dashboarding. So obviously your operational reporting type stuff. So we also have big data engineers. So that's kind of the big data lake stuff, so the newer technology. So bringing things, the data in that's unstructured and working in the sort of newer technology stack, doing data pipelines, CI/CD, data development, basically automated testing and all that type of stuff that's, all cutting edge stuff that's out there now. We also have data solutions designers and data solutions developers. They basically utilise the data that we have. So we have a massive, big data estate within the department. So the biggest data warehouse in Europe, obviously transferring that into a data lake. But we actually have people that utilise that data to build products and services, not necessarily just for DWP, but across government as well. And then we have a data ops developer who basically, within the live environment, if there's a problem with any of the data, they go in and fix it in live. So quite a number of different sort of skill sets there.
Thanks. Thanks for that. And could you give us some examples of the work people can be involved in, specifically focusing on how individuals can make a difference?
Okay. Yeah, so the work's obviously varied. Obviously, there's 170 practitioners, so obviously not all working on the same project. So they're embedded within the big data transformation areas, but also the big welfare reform areas within the department. So universal credit, obviously, a big key welfare reform. So there's lots of people working within that area using data, actually bringing data out of that system, modelling it, and then using it to actually improve the lives of citizens by making applications within with universal credit data in it. We have Risk and Intelligence Service, which is basically fraud, error detection and prevention. So a big community of people working with that within that environment as well. But also we do cross-government fraud and error detection for NHS and various other areas. But we also utilise the data within our systems to work with other government departments as well. So there's a big sort of community of people doing that type of activity as well. So there's a varied work load, different portfolio of different projects that people can get involved in. Never boring. We do rapid response activity as well around like Windrush and Grenfell. They're all things that we've actually dealt with within the department as well. Utilising our data to actually work across government to for emergency purposes, that type of thing. So there's lots of varied activity and a big portfolio of work.
Thank you. And what are the opportunities people have access to within the practice and the civil service in general?
Okay, so within the practice, obviously, the data roles sit within DWP, but they're also cross-government. So these roles, there's career progression within the department, but there's also career progression across government as well for these roles. So there's L&D available, there's practice community events, we do meetups, lunch and learns, upskilling, so everybody's able to have at least 5 days L&D, which is non-standard really. In non-departmental areas you don't necessarily get that, so we don't we expect people to upskill, and we actually encourage people to do learning and stuff, so we have packages that people can just go and upskill themselves on as well.
Thank you. And with regard to the current opportunities that we have on offer, what would you say you look for in a potential candidate, a specialist or a data candidate? Okay,
so we've got quite a few current roles, which we'll go into in a minute, but what good looks like. So we're looking for self-starters really. So the roles that we've currently got on offer are not the junior roles, but they're the more senior roles. So we're looking for people that are flexible, people that are adaptable with new technologies, because things change in data. Things are changing rapidly. So tooling in terms of what people come in with, then they might have to upskill into other tools quite quickly. So we're looking for people to be technically strong with a good background in their chosen profession and their chosen role. They need to be able to work well within the team as well, because these people don't work on their own. They're embedded predominantly in agile teams. So they're working with delivery leads, business analysts, testers, maybe software engineers. So they're working with a whole group of people, so they have to be adaptable. So they're not sort of sat down, sort of just doing their own work on their own predominantly. So we're looking for people that are happy to challenge, help review, and also people that want to share their skills. So we're looking for people to mentor our more junior people and come in and provide sort of challenge to existing processes that they want to modernise as well. So that's all available for people to do.
And the current roles that we have open and upcoming roles, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, yeah. So we've got several roles on offer that are going to be advertised over the next few weeks. So we're looking for data modellers across most of our digital hubs. So we're looking for people that understand how to dimensionally model data, basically. So take data in its raw form and model it so it's usable. So not just single source modelling. We're looking to for people that understand how to do galaxy schemas, star schemas, and actually brigade data together from different sources to give a citizen-centric view of data. So lots of experience required for those roles, but we're looking for some good candidates for that. So Irwin is the sort of package of choice for that role for us in terms of data modelling package, and we're looking for somebody with really good SQL skills as well to back that up. So we've got ETL developer roles available, so they're the people that do the workflow, ETL pipelines. So they're available currently in Newcastle and Sheffield, and we're looking for people that have got Informatica skills for that really. So Informatica is our ETL tool of choice within the department. So we use Informatica now, and then we're transitioning into Informatica BDM, which is the Big Data Manager. So as we're transforming onto our new data platform, we're upskilling the teams and we're changing our tools. But Informatica is the bedrock for all of that anyway, so that's a transferable skill.
Yeah.
So we're looking for that. But we need somebody with strong shell scripting knowledge as well, and a good background in SQL for those roles. So we've also got big data engineer roles in Leeds and Newcastle. So that's the more sort of cutting edge, the Hadoop ecosystem. So we need people that understand how to do CI/CD pipelines, to architect the data flows into the big data platform. So that's kind of a key role that we're looking for. They're sort of like the hard to fill roles normally, but we're looking for people that with those skills. So we're looking for people that have got sort of HDFS, HBase, Impala, Hive kind of background, that understand how to do data streaming. So that they need to be quite a good or rounded candidate for these roles. They're quite intense sort of roles these are, but they are definitely the cutting edge type roles,
yeah.
and it's the growth industry of the data family really. So we're really keen to get some new enthusiastic people into those roles. And then there's a lead data scientist role that's on offer. So this is a senior leadership role, so it's quite a senior position. It's based in London, I understand. So that's embedded into Universal Credit. But we're looking for somebody that's innovative, creative, and can drive sort of policy making and use the data and share that data knowledge with the team, but also work within a sort of leadership environment to actually use that data to drive decision making within that team. So it's more of a, not necessarily so much as a hands-on doer that role, but it's more of a leadership role and a sort of driving forward and embracing how you use data to inform decision making. So it's again a challenging role that's got a great deal of depth and a breadth into that role.
Fantastic.
Okay. Thanks, Corinne, for sharing all of those new exciting roles. Don't forget, guys, you can ask Corinne a question on any of those roles or any potential roles that might be coming up that might be within your skill set, and we're quite happy to answer and respond if you are looking for something a little bit different or something that maybe we haven't covered here. Danny, over to you.
Yeah, so with all that in mind, what's the best way to actually apply for a role with DWP Digital? And indeed, what you can expect to see when doing so. Well, we advertise in lots of places: LinkedIn, traditional job boards, and our very own website, the address of which should be in the description below. If you ever want to apply, click the easily identifiable apply button that's going to be on those adverts, and you'll be redirected to an application portal where you can complete a totally online application. Now, unfortunately, we can't accept directly emailed CVs or anything offline through the post, etc. So you will have to apply via our website. If you have any questions, there should always be a named contact on the advert. So if you want to get in touch with somebody beforehand to talk about the application, or just to have a chat, talk about the best answers possibly to give about the role and how to get the most out of your application, you'll find all that information there as well. Make sure that you read any notes and instructions and use the application form to give the best possible demonstration of what we say we are looking for in the advert. Demonstrate that you've got the skills and experience we're looking for by showing us what you've done and how in your CV, and indeed the personal statement that we ask you to write more often than not. Once you've applied, every single application is viewed anonymously by the hiring manager in the portal. If successful, you'll be invited to book an interview online in one of the slots that will be provided at your preferred location, where at all possible. It is a one-stop, single-face interview, and our aim is to have a 4-week end-to-end recruitment process from the point of interview to the point of offer. We'll always get in touch with you to let you know the result, good or bad, unfortunately, in this 4-week period. Once we've considered all the applications, we'll also inform you of the next steps as soon as we can, normally within a few days of your interview. Yeah.
Thanks, Danny, for that. So just as we're getting together your questions and talking about some of the topics of the data practice or any questions that you might have for us, we're going to go through some common questions that we as a recruitment team get daily or on a regular basis, let's say. So this is a good opportunity for you guys to send your questions in while we go through those normal questions that we get.
Most frequently asked, yeah.
Yeah, most frequently asked. So we often get asked, you know, DWP has a hub, several hub locations, but it's not just London. So can you tell us a little bit about the different hubs, Danny?
Yeah, sure. Corinne mentioned a few earlier with some of the roles. As an overall, we have digital hubs in Leeds, London, where we are today, Newcastle, Sheffield, Blackpool and Manchester. Each of the hubs is a modern, vibrant workplace that was designed for and by the members within our digital community. They all have the best of their respective locations on their doorsteps. And they all have a range of facilities from cafes, coffee shops, to restaurants, to access to activities like ping pong, gym facilities, various other leisure activities, and lots more. They all, though, provide the latest tech and tooling, and they foster a collaborative culture to help our agile teams think big and try new and innovative things. Working for DWP Digital means that you'll be alongside people who care passionately about public service, making a difference and delivering for the customer. Please don't forget that this is the UK's biggest government department with over 80,000 diverse and, quite frankly, brilliant people in the various teams. We're very much, though, an equal opportunity employer, and we welcome applications regardless of age, gender, race or sexuality. And once you find yourself, hopefully, within DWP Digital, hopefully many places to go, above and beyond, sideways, upwards, down, not down. But Tia, not down.
Hopefully not.
But Tia, would you mind talking a bit more in length about the
sure.
career opportunities?
So we get this question a lot, career progression within DWP. So to simplify things, we've got 5 different levels, ranging from the entry point, so internships, apprenticeship programs, which we can provide information for budding data developers and data specialists. We start off at that at a basic level, and then it goes to working, senior, lead, and then management levels. Now these roles or these levels are cross-governmental, so there's room for internal mobility. You can move across into different areas of the business, different projects, different departments. So the opportunities are immense. You know, we're hiring as part of this digital transformation hundreds and hundreds of individuals. So take a look online at our current opportunities. All the information is on the page. See what we have available. Ask us questions about, you know, what roles you are potentially interested, and we'll see, you know, if there's anything coming up that you potentially could apply for. Danny, back to you.
Yes, sorry, I threw there because we had a question come in, so we'll go back to that in a second. We'll just cover another very, very frequently asked question before we have a quick look at that one. What sort of work-life balance and job flexibility can you expect if you were to take up a role with DWP Digital? Well, here at DWP, we really recognise the complexity and potential tensions for employees in juggling their work and home priorities. So we are really committed to providing you with a reasonable personal freedom and ability to balance those priorities successfully, and therefore, hopefully, as a byproduct, win-win for us, you will be able to deliver the first-class public service that I was speaking about earlier. Therefore, flexible working hours at DWP Digital promotes diversity and inclusion and recognises where employees have reasonable control over their working hours. Then therefore is going to be more commitment to, and as I said, effective delivery of the business objectives. So it means that staff have access to the ability to vary their start and finish times, vary the length of timing of their lunch breaks, for instance, all kept on a sort of a flexi credit, as well as deficit opportunities, and importantly as well, the ability to be able to take time off under the terms set out in special circumstances needs. These all still, though, link in with regular working patterns around the 37 hours per week commitment for full-time staff. However, but there are many opportunities that do also exist for pro rata, part-time staff around commitments that they may have. So family-friendly policies and an understanding of general life commitments. Once again, even though we've just had one buzz, don't forget, if you have any specific questions, please type away now. Don't be shy. We're happy to answer. But in the meantime, once again, let's talk about and bring the focus back to what this webinar is about, which is data. So I'd like to bring Corinne back in again. In relation to the practice, Corinne, that we're discussing today, how do we actually use data to improve people's lives?
Well, we do quite a lot of products and services that improve people's lives. So one really good example that springs to mind is fuel poverty. So we work across with BAYS, which is another government department, to identify people who are in fuel poverty. Mm-hmm. So we're looking to extend that scheme into water poverty as well, so identify people that need support and help, and to get the support that they need from water companies and energy companies.
Excellent stuff. Many thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we're at that stage where we're relying on you now. So hopefully no more staring at the screen, as you may have noticed. But we have had a question in from YouTube, from somebody seeking a junior role. He's actually asking, as an add-on to what we were talking about earlier, that's something you mentioned, Corinne, how transferable are the skills attained doing, say, an MSc in policy economics? We were talking about being able to shift around different departments. So somebody that's coming from that background, how would they work their way into maybe a data analyst role? For instance, they clean data sets and run regression analysis to discern causal effects. So it's that question of how transferable is transferable.
Yeah, so a lot of those skills are transferable. So there's a lot of qualifications. I mean, degrees like physics, maths, geography, weirdly, because it's statistical information in there, as well as computer science, but other things like policy, because you're doing analysis. So anything like that, if people have got the aptitude, then they're a really good sort of bench, sort of springboard really into the data roles. Obviously, everybody's circumstances are different, and everybody's CVs will be different. But there's no sort of these are the we don't have certain subjects that we discount. But anything with statistical information, we do have a lot of people that have transferred into data roles from the analytical community as well. So it's having that logical mindset and that sort of way of thinking about numbers and statistics. And the data scientists, a lot of them have come from analyst community, and quite a lot of the data engineers as well, especially in the modelling sense, because it's very logical. So a lot of those skills will be transferable. If you're used to using numbers, statistics, coding really is based on logic. Yeah. So if you're good at maths and if you're good at physics as well, you tend to be pretty good at coding because it's all based on logical stuff. So all of those things are transferable, and we don't discount people because they haven't. The entry level isn't a certain set of degree courses. Yeah. It's aptitude and what they've done in terms of wider experience in roles that they might have had, that we can pick out the different type of skill set that we need for these roles. But we some of these roles that we're currently pitched at higher level, but we do look at taking junior levels as well. Sort of we want to sort of bring people in and grow our own people as well. Yeah. So we're using the more senior people to mentor and upskill those people, because the pot for data, it's a fierce market out there, very competitive. So if you only look for a fully formed person, then that's quite difficult to find. So bringing people in with aptitude is one of the key things that we're looking to do. Fantastic. And we do have opportunities for apprenticeships and other qualifications. Apprenticeships aren't just for under 25s. Anybody in the workforce can do an apprenticeship. And we've got sponsored courses and apprenticeships at masters and degree level and various different levels around data analytics and data science that are available to people when they've joined. Yeah. So it's all part of that sort of L&D process that they can go into. So
as much as they can say in the personal statement part of the application, if they're trying to highlight to you where within their CV, resume, application, the most kinship with the essential skills on ask, if they can point you in the direction of why they feel that what they've got has a starting point at least for them, then it makes it a little easier for you to map it out with the application. Yeah, absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with stating the obvious in your CV, because sometimes people think
that there's an assumption if you've put something that there's an understanding that that's a transferable skill, but if you don't state it, sometimes it doesn't necessarily jump out at you. So there's things to, there's hooks in the CV that you need to plant in there, really.
Yeah, there are obviously restrictions within the amount of words you can put in the personal statement, but if you can use it as an index to highlight where you feel the hiring panel should be looking, then you're giving yourself as much ammunition as possible. Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely. Yeah. Okay. Now, was that a buzz, did I hear? No, it wasn't.
Another question?
No, it was somebody else's phone here on the floor, unfortunately. So I'm assuming that means that our frequently asked questions covered a lot of things with everyone, that we're hopefully happy that nobody feels any further questions. However, it may just be that you're all shy at the present time. So when the webinar closes in a little while, we're obviously going to keep, for a few minutes, is it, Stuart? Yeah, we're going to keep the feed there live for a few minutes longer. So if we've disappeared, there's still an opportunity to leave those questions. We'll make sure that we pick them up. Do please supply your name. And as I say, over the forthcoming next few working days, we'll endeavour to answer and get back to you. Bring Corinne, and Corinne may bring other members of the team in to answer those questions as comprehensively as we can for you. Okay. Unfortunately, then, with no more questions, I'm going to say many thanks to Corinne. Many thanks to Tia for kicking me under the desk whenever I stumbled over my words. And many thanks to you for looking in today. As I say, the option to post does remain once we disappear with the live stream, even though, as I say, it's going to be coming to an end as regards to the picture that you can see. So please remember to leave your name with those questions, and we will endeavour to get back to you as quick as we can. But beyond that, also, please check out our civil service job site, as well as the DWP Digital Careers site. You can Google those, and as I say, there's links on the description within the YouTube channel that you've been watching today. So, once again, many thanks to Corinne, many thanks to Tia, many thanks to you. It's 7:30 on a Wednesday evening. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.